Did you hear that?
If you know what is good for you, say no.
Farah, we must press on. I am sure she will be alright.
Are you mad?
Before the iconic assassin, there was merely a single Persian prince. That Prince of Persia had a solid, memorable run on the PS2 generation of hardware. The final game in the trilogy, Prince of Persia: The Two Thrones, was a title purposed to mend the odd, edgy overtones in Warrior Within, while aiming to invoke a more playful atmosphere like the original. But does that make The Two Thrones a game that can stand on its own 2 feet, even all these years later? I guess we're about to find out in this review of Prince of Persia: The Two Thrones HD for the PS3.
I cannot lose her again.
No, no, no! You're so close.
And yes, even after all these years, Prince of Persia: The Two Thrones is still one of the best in the genre. It's almost a little odd to say that. Almost a decade later, The Two Thrones' acrobatic platforming sticks out almost in a vacuum. Platformers in this ilk nowadays usually just use ledge grabbing as a means of transportation and breaking up the pace, while Prince of Persia uses it as its main attraction. The prince's methods of traversal are quite impressive. Since most of the game consists of improbable labyrinths, you'll need to combine all these skills to make it to the end. Difficulty ramps up at a steady clip, and it always feels immensely satisfying to string together a combo of acrobatic moves that get you from point A to point B. Crafty level design allows these moves to be shown in the best light possible and never makes exact repetition apparent. The fluidity of the controls allows the addictive flow to stick out as the best part of the game. It's pretty evident that these guys went along to make Assassin's Creed. Although unlike Assassin's Creed, Prince of Persia has always revolved around some sort of time-bending mechanic, something The Two Thrones does splendidly. If you goof up and miss a ledge, you can rewind time to undo your mistake, given that you have enough sand left in the tank. Rewinding not only fits within the narrative, but it also helps platforming keep its steady flow. While the 2008 reboot took this philosophy a bit too far, integrating hassle-free retries allows for experimentation and fluidity, something that most good platformers should have. Sadly, many good platformers also have shallow, tedious combat to contrast the tight traversal. The prince may be a master acrobat, but he is a pretty lousy swordsman. Combat is pretty sticky and unresponsive, thus making it rather unsatisfying. Combos never really work well, and some enemies can take far too much damage, which makes this slow aspect of the game even more boring. Most combat can be avoided though, thanks to the new speed kill system. The prince can sneak around and take out enemies silently, granted he can get near them without raising an alarm. The stealth is really simple with the nearsighted enemies chained to their specific paths, but combining the system with the platforming allows for a satisfying sense of strategy. You won't confuse it for Ubisoft's other stealth franchise, but these sections are oddly enjoyable and change up the pace much better than the swordplay can. The swordplay is kind of the focus of the Dark Prince, which is loosely foreshadowed by the game's title. Like Jack in Jak 2, the prince has been corrupted, although by Sans, transforming him into a beast he can only kind of control. While it can be easy to roll your eyes at this alter ego straight from the 1990s, this version of the prince adds yet another layer of depth to the platforming. Using the fused-in chain on his arm, he can extend his jumps and wall runs, both of which allow for different environmental setups. While the steady decrease in health can be annoying, this transformation is yet another way to keep the game fresh. The Dark Prince equally serves the story, although not until after the intro where the prince returns home to find his kingdom under siege. Since the prince rewound time at the end of Warrior Within, he undid the events of the first game, effectively bringing the evil vizier back to life. In his quest for immortality, the vizier kills the Empress of Time, unleashing the Sands of Time and setting the prince on yet another sand-infused journey. A standard premise for sure, but the writing and character development set it beyond most video game stories. The prince speaks with such class and in a tone that makes him easy to listen to and even easier to care for. His relationship to his dark self allows for some good back and forth that fills the time while platforming and allows for an internal struggle that escalates as the game progresses. His internal monologue collides with the supporting female character, which evolves into a unique three-way war that keeps the immediate human drama intriguing. This drama never grows stale because of its ability to evolve and change as the game moves forward. Characters have actual convincing arcs, and seeing them unfold is incredibly well done and paced at a satisfying clip. Chatter while platforming, either through the brilliant narrator or through the prince himself, keeps the parkour fresh and allows for more story to be doled out in a non-cutscene fashion. It feels like a precursor to the incredibly entertaining banner found in the Uncharted series. HD remasters can be of shaky quality, and this one kinda falls in the middle. Despite some muddy textures, the Two Thrones HD looks pretty good because of its timeless art. However, there are some inconsistencies. The cropping is a little off, meaning some characters are cut off while on screen during a cutscene, and the audio mixing is a mess. Sound effects drown out the dialogue more often than not, and a fair chunk of the audio sounds like it was shouted into a microphone and recorded in an empty hallway. It doesn't nullify this great game at all, it's just a little distracting. Prince of Persia: The Two Thrones HD might even be better now, almost a decade later. Exhilarating mechanics and memorable characters are timeless staples of any game, and The Two Thrones shows that some games don't sour with age. The Prince must have used the last of the powers of the sand to make his own game timeless. The Prince of Persia: Two Thrones HD gets a 9 out of 10. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.
I am part of you.
You were inside me?
Phrasing? Bray, I'm kidding.